everybody, and welcome back to Anti-Depressing. This is the show where we talk about everything from liturgy
to Lexapro. Hey, everybody. How's everyone doing? Last week, we did not have a video episode. Rest in peace to my laptop. It absolutely...
Wait, can you actually tell everybody what happened? Because it happened like in the middle or at the end of an episode, I guess.
So I bought my first laptop, or no, lies. My second laptop, I had one in high school, but I bought my like first nice one. It was like a Mac, right after I graduated in 2015 from college, and it has been with me to every place I've lived in every stage of life. And she absolutely passed away in our last episode, but
she did.
We do serve a good God, because I turned her on yesterday. I pressed that power button and she did turn on.
No way.
I watched The Golden Bachelorette on her. And
maybe that was her parting gift to you.
She did kind of like frizzle a few times near the camera.
Kind of like, you know, when we had the TVs that like you turned off and they kind of sparkled off.
Yeah, like she is getting some black spots on her screen where like you can see the screen is kind of burning through a little bit. But it's giving up. I think she wanted me to watch that show. So for those that are like, why was it not a video episode last week? It's because last week she was like, I need a rest. It's been almost 10 years. Done. Yeah.
And I think my favorite thing about that is that in the beginning of last episode, we were like, let us give you a tour of our places that we're in on video. And then it was not a video episode.
And so for everyone that was listening, we were so we had full intention to make it a really cool. I was staying in a really like nice condo little thing, and it was going to be really cool.
You'll never see it.
And you'll never see it. So rest in peace to her. And the video that she recorded also just like doesn't exist. So everything was a bust.
It disappeared.
But we work for a good God. We serve a good God. And I pressed her power button in the airport today, and she turned on, and I watched Golden Bachelorette on her. Now, can I turn her on again? Who knows? She is currently in my drawer. You know, her screen looked like she was buzzing out.
She's resting.
She's resting, and I'm not going to turn it on because my mom was like, why? I came home and I tried to show my mom something on her, and it sounded like the fan was like, whoo. So I don't know. I'm kind of nervous she might blow up. So we'll see you guys. Rest in peace, though, for now. If this was like during Easter, this would be pretty spooky. Like, it would be very resurrection-y.
Because she kind of resurrected. And just like Christ resurrected for the Golden Bachelorette.
And just like Christ. Because actually...
He said, this is why I came back. This is why I rose.
And because actually, while we're talking about, like, the Golden Bachelorette, can we just real quick talk about how I cried in the airport today? I texted you and I was like, this week's episode was just bumtopia, dude.
No, seriously, like definition of crying in the club. Like, dude, it gets you so hard.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
If people aren't watching it, like, it's actually really healing. It's actually really beautiful. I don't know what's happening. And that's just
not me trying to convince people to watch it. Jasmine is a professional.
Yeah. I'm
you guys,
telling you, it's beautiful. Grief on beautiful display. Patience and understanding on beautiful display. We have let someone go home to be with their mother and to be at their mother's funeral and then come back to the show, which that is not the norm.
That is not the norm.
It would normally have been a dramatic, like, oh, you want to leave? Well, then, like, I guess we'll never be together.
And they're like,
which never
my
makes
mom
sense,
is literally
it's, like,
passing
actually
away.
real. Yeah, like real life happens outside of this, and I could just be like, hey, I'm just not going to pick any of these people, and I'll call you after. Yeah. Like, if you really felt for that person, then like them leaving this show shouldn't actually matter, right?
Shouldn't actually matter.
So that's a weird thing. But this time, she was like, go be with your family, grieve, and then come back when you're ready. And then he came back.
And you might be wondering, what the heck are you guys talking about? Okay.
Watch it.
This week's episode, you need to watch it. This week's episode, essentially, she went to hometowns, which if you're new in Bachelor world, that's when she goes home to the 4 men left, their hometowns, meets their family, friends, etc. Golden Bachelorette, she's meeting grandkids. She's meeting children, adult children our age, right? Like 30 years old. So first off, all their children, beautiful. Like all these people have amazing genes. All their kids are like very beautiful and very handsome. So stunning.
Yeah.
Grandkid energy, very cute. It was all cute. On one hometown, she went and the gentleman's mother passed away during filming of the show. Rest in peace. And they had like a memorial for her during the hometown where they planted a tree in like his brother's backyard for her. And it was just like, oh my gosh, like every family member spoke and it felt like a real moment on that show. Like, and I think the thing about the Golden Bachelor, I mean, people probably pass away during the regular Bachelor and Bachelorette, but everything seems so stupid and like nothing's ever serious. But in this show, they're literally like, hey, people were sick in my life, or like people moved, or my children don't live with me anymore, or I don't have a relationship. And everything just feels like they're living real life.
It's real life.
So for those that are still questioning watching it, I implore you, take a bit of try. So that is how I'm doing. Give it a try. I was crying in the club along with Jasmine because it was so freaking sad. And yes, but also very joyful because Joan got to comfort her man. And he was like, I'm literally in love with her.
Which, and that's real life, you know?
Yeah. And like being there in the moments where you're like, I don't think I can even make it. And she was there. So word up to Joan. Speaking of that, before we move into how the heck you're doing, who do you think's going to win this? Now we're in the final 3. Who do you think's going to win this?
I didn't finish this week's episode, so I don't know who went home.
Got it. I will not say. Okay.
But I really feel like she's feeling this. Why is his name Chalk?
Chalk with the Chalk,
not
like
Chuck.
Chalk with an O. And you guys might be like, what is
chalk?
That? Yeah, but it's
CHAULK. Is that how you spell chalk?
CHOCK.
But his name is CHOCK. Yeah.
Yep.
Chalk. Is it short for something? I don't know. Let's chalk it up to what is that? How do you spell that when you say it like that?
Charlie, Chalkery.
Chocolate? Chalk? I don't know. But she like really is into him.
She is.
But I know the other guys were like, he's a little...
Yeah.
Kelce's dad going home was a big sad for me from last week. Yeah. But I get it.
The friendships lost there. Like when Pascal was like, I'm crying. I'm going to miss my friend.
He was like, you are such a good man. And I can't, the wholesomeness of the friendship, and that's the thing, of the like, elderly
people
men.
Will go home on this show, you guys, and then the men will be like, walk outside after they go.
Like,
and they walk outside as they're crying.
Tears.
And they're like, dude, I'm going to miss you so much. Like, you are my brother. I love you so much. And they're like, you're such a good man. I wish you could have stayed. They're all with the same women, but all of them are like, oh my gosh.
Break at a certain point.
Oh, no.
And I mean, they've had like little annoyances, but nothing. It's wholesome.
And please, Bachelor producers, listen to this. We don't want drama. We don't want drama as much as you think we do. Like, honestly, watching these.
Sprinkling.
A little bit.
But not to the degree.
But not as much as you think.
We want more wholesome.
So how the heck are you doing?
I don't know. So, but I think Chalk's going to win, maybe. I don't.
Yeah. I almost feel like it could be a wild card. Okay, it could be Pascal.
It could be Pascal, which at first I was like, I don't know about this guy. But he's had some very sweet moments.
He has.
I don't know. Who do you think's going to win? Pascal?
I honestly feel like it's going to be Chalk. But things were so good this episode with Chalk that I don't know. I don't know if next episode he's going to be like, so by the way, I'm actually like... the worst. I don't know because the way he's confident, she's confident.
He's very smooth, very suave.
He's very smooth. He's very much like, I love you. I will propose to you. I love you. So like that, the inner person in me early, that's like, what the heck is going on? What are you lying about?
Well, you've watched the Bachelor franchise before, so I think you're like, what's gonna?
So I feel like it might be Pascal, y'all. Who knows? But also, I'm watching it knowing that Gary and his fiance literally broke up because they wouldn't move from their families. So I'm like, as you go to hometowns in the Golden Bachelorette, I'm watching this and I'm thinking, are either of these people actually going to move away from these people? I don't think so.
Yes, and what I'm so confused about is you would think that she, because she's friends with Gary, would understand that and think like, maybe I should ask, are you willing to move from your family? Am I willing to move from my family? Because everybody has mentioned like, oh, I see my grandkids every week, or I see them all the So where is the flexibility in that? I don't know. Very curious.
But outside of that,
time will tell. Outside of that, how am I?
Yeah.
I am doing great. If you hear the cries of a newborn, he's really fine. He just sometimes rages when he's with his father. They are very great friends, but he's also just, sometimes he's
really like, I just kind of wish my mom would come back in this room though.
Yeah. This is like the one time I'm not by him a week.
Yeah.
So it's very, very confusing for him. So he is fine. He is well.
Okay.
But we are doing great. Life is good. I'm entering my chauffeur parent era.
Okay, tell me about it.
Which I fear will never end until my children can drive. So this was the first day of like the rest of my life, I think.
Yeah, okay. This sounds really horrifying. Tell me about it.
I know, right? My daughters both started swim lessons this week.
Oh,
and then
my gosh.
my eldest daughter started piano lessons today. I know. I didn't even get to talk to you about this yet.
Oh my gosh.
So wild. And so I'm just like driving them places now, which is very strange to me because my kids have not been activity heavy up until now.
Yeah.
We postponed that as long as we physically could.
Yeah.
And now it was like, oh, it's actually probably time to get
them
some
in.
Things, get in the mix,
Oh my gosh.
And today in piano lessons, the sweetest thing, the piano teacher asked her, like, first thing, like, so why did you want to take piano lessons? Why did you want to learn how to play piano? And she said, because my daddy plays piano and I want to be like him. Tears.
You guys, did Steven cry when you told him that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like with Steven, like emotional when you told him.
He was very touched. He was very touched.
That is very cute and very sounds like your daughter.
Sweet.
She's so emotionally checked in. Well, get ready, girl. You're in your chauffeur era, and you're gonna be one of those moms that is like, dang man, when my kids get a license, they're on these streets. Can't wait. Oh my gosh.
Right? When I told Steven, I was like, feels like the first day of the rest of my life. He's like, are you quoting that Matt Maher song? And I was like, I think he actually wrote it about this.
I think he actually wrote it about driving his kids around. Matt Maher, hop in the comments. Did you write?
Is this why you wrote this?
Did you write whatever? What is that song? This is the
first day.
What is that song?
Of the rest of your life.
For even in the dark, you can still see the light. It's gonna be all right. And no.
Love will
hold us together.
Oh wow, what a classic. That was like our high school era.
Truly. Matt Maher, hop in the comments. Did you write Love Will Hold Us Together did you write this song just to highlight chauffeuring your kids around until they can get their license and you don't have to drive them around anymore?
Truly the first
This is the first day of the rest of your life. Did you mean when your kids join clubs and you never see an end in sight?
Them, and then you never stop driving them for the rest of their lives?
Jump in the comments.
Let us know. All right, are you ready? Do you have other news?
No.
Have you said how you are?
I kind of really am. I did. How I am is emotional from watching The Golden Bachelorette. That's kind of me.
That's
and you guys.
all encompassing.
Yeah. And you
your
guys.
Computer.
My computer, like, I don't know.
A journey, truly. Yeah.
I'm going to post her on the Instagram. Maybe I'll make a GoFundMe.
All right.
Everyone put money to get me a new laptop.
That's actually so true.
How about that? Do you guys want me to have a new laptop? You want me to have a new laptop? Let Will make a reel. Will is our fabulous producer. Will, make a reel of this. Everybody, give me money. Money, please. Money, please.
This feels like breaking what wall is it?
The fourth wall, I think.
Eighth. I said wheel. Fourth wall. Like you talking to Will, being like, "Hi, I'm real in here.
I'm real.
Could you do me a favor and cut this into a reel?
Everybody, give me money for a new laptop. Money, please. Money,
please.
Thanks, everybody. I am ready to hop right in.
Okay. Are you ready to hear some anti-depressing Catholic news?
Yep.
This is brought to you by Chanel sending me a DM on Instagram that there is a high school sophomore at a Catholic high school that started a climate change blog to raise awareness about, wouldn't you know it, climate change. So 15-year-old Julia Walsh, shout out to her, who's a sophomore at Notre Dame Academy in Massachusetts, couldn't stand feeling helpless about climate change. This is the wildest part of all of this to me. She started a blog about climate change when she was in middle school during the 2020 COVID lockdowns because she was feeling frustrated and needed a way to channel it. She said she felt helpless and the fact that there's not much that I could do to help. As a middle schooler, I decided that the best option for me would be to try and spread climate change awareness virtually in the form of a blog. She said she started her blog called Miles Away in May of 2020. Since then, she's written 41 blogs covering a variety of topics, from plastic usage, hurricanes, how climate change affects girls and women, urban heat islands, the Amazon rainforest, and many other topics. She's quoted saying, "Some of my favorite topics to cover on my blog include how we can prevent plastic waste in our environment today and ways that climate change creates loss and damage. These two issues concern me the most when thinking about how to solve climate change because they are the causes of so many disastrous effects of our world, such as poverty and pollution."
Wow.
I know.
You guys, when they say that the kids the kids maybe care about things that are stupid or maybe they're like too intense, whatever. This is the kind of intensity we need. You might be saying maybe kids are some intense about some things, whatever. The kids are all right, you guys, because the kids are intense about things they need to be. As a Christian people, we are called to be stewards of the earth. We are called to take care of the earth.
We are called. It's a very musical episode.
I feel like on this episode, we're singing a lot of songs that we don't know the words to. So drop in the comments
humbly with God.
Wow,
right?
See, I didn't even know humbly with God was a lyric.
I don't know if it is, but it felt right.
I don't know if it is. Drop in the chat. There is no chat.
Drop your favorite hymn for us.
Drop in the chat the lyrics to that song that I don't even know the title of.
This is called the episode where we record after 8 p.m.
This episode is dedicated to... Who wrote all the Christian songs when we were younger? Well, Matt Maher and Stephen Chapman or whatever. This episode is dedicated to them. And your husband, he's a musician too. Let's just dedicate it to
also, today is
dedicated
the day this is releasing is a Friday. And my husband has a song called House of the Lord that is releasing today. So welcome to the music episode. Go listen to the song.
This episode is dedicated to all the musicians in our life. And it's also dedicated to this young lady. What is her name again? Hit me with it.
Okay. Her last name is Walsh. Let me scroll back up.
Miss
I forgot
Walsh.
her. Julia, beautiful.
Julia, this episode
I do want
to
read this beautiful quote to her that she ends with, too.
Please.
Which, Julia, thank you for sponsoring our episode emotionally. It says, Walsh said her faith as a Catholic shaped her perspective as an environmentalist. Wouldn't you know?
Wouldn't you know?
Said, as a Catholic in church, I'm always being told about how it's our responsibility to take care of our earth and everything on it because it's God's gift to us. Catholics respond to this message in many different ways, but to me, I feel especially called to protect the environment because I can't see how I can help people and animals if our home is crumbling beneath us. Ooh. I hope that I can help prevent climate change from worsening in my high school years, and I would love to help Catholic Climate Covenant. What a cutie girl.
What a cutie girl. Queen.
I think the thing I love most about this whole quote is I would not describe my experience of being in the Catholic Church as always being told how it's our responsibility to take care of the earth.
I mean, I've only heard we're stewards of the earth. Like, we're stewards of the earth, so you can eat all the cow you want. Like, maybe I'm in a different church, but it seems like...
No, I know, but I'm like, you know what? Shout out to her theology teacher at her middle school and high school, because somebody is covering the Catholic social teachings. Somebody's crushing that curriculum. Somebody is doing a unit on care for creation, and it is landing for her.
It is landing.
So thank you, because a lot of times I feel like, at least when I was teaching, I taught Catholic social teachings, and when we got to care for creation, my students were like, who were seniors in high school, were like, wait a second, the Catholic Church cares about the environment? And I was like, yes, we do. And in fact, I had a parent get very mad at me about teaching about how we're supposed to care for creation and about the environment. And so that was very interesting. So it is very refreshing to me to see a young person who's like, no, the Catholic Church is actually like doing this.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. So thank you.
And that is beautiful. And today on Catholic Things You Should Know, we care about the environment. We're supposed to be stewards of the environment. And that does not make you anything else but a really good Catholic.
But a really good Catholic.
And the third thing is that you should all donate to Chanel's GoFundMe on Catholic Things You Should Know. So she should buy... Wait, Catholic Things You Should Know is actually a show that we are not affiliated with. But these are Catholic things to know. Maybe we'll say that.
To know. Why don't you just say, this week in anti-depressing Catholic news.
This week.
Chanel would be anti-depressed if you
all donated and created... and linked my bank account to a GoFundMe so I can buy a new laptop. Thank you so much.
God bless.
To Miss Walsh. Oh my gosh.
Julia Walsh.
Julia Walsh. Thank you so much, Miss Walsh, for your dedication to creation. We love to see it.
We appreciate you.
Jasmine,
okay, you ready to dance?
Let's roll in. Yeah.
Okay. We made it. Okay, continuing on this musical episode, we're going to talk a little. Actually, almost all of our stories are about music. So let's get it. Welcome to the musical, High School Musical 3.
Oof. Cried during that one.
Just turned like 20 or something.
That sucks. Yeah, I watched that one on my high school graduation night, so that really sucks.
Maybe, or it was released in 2008. I don't know. I just saw something pop up on my Instagram about it, and whatever it was disheartening, and I scrolled because it made me feel sad.
Aging is a privilege, y'all, but you're going to mourn with us.
Yeah, I think it was 2008, and I was like, cool, I was in middle school. I can't look at this.
Sure.
That's sad. So, in news this week, Lin-Manuel Miranda is releasing a new album, Warriors, and his kids are appearing on the album. Aww. And the story behind this is going to live rent-free in my brain for the rest of my life because it is so relatable.
Love.
He said that his wife went back to work a couple years ago, so I've been a stay-at-home dad writing this. There was just one day where they were not leaving. Like, they would not leave his studio. And he said, and I was like, all right, scream into the microphone. We'll use it. And so his 6-year-old son let out the most incredible 20-second scream. His son, Francisco, screamed, and then they looped and reverbed it, and it now appears in the song Derailed, which is track 6 on the album. So definitely go listen to his album, listen to track 6, and just hear the scream and know that that is because he had a 6-year-old who would not leave him alone while he was working. And I'm just truly obsessed. Then his 9-year-old whispers the word run in Derailed. Ooh. And he said, blink and you miss it. It's this little inner voice thing. Like, what a proud dad. Like, so
blink and you miss it. My kids are geniuses. This is very much giving someone with a newborn that says my kid is a genius. And I love it. And I love it. And, that's like so cute. And I can't wait to listen to it. Although I am really not a Lin-Manuel fan. The way that he kind of like flows is not my thing. But I do support folks kind of just like, involving their family and things. I think that's precious. And I did hear this album also has Lauryn Hill on it, Busta Rhymes.
So many.
Yeah. Ghostface Killah. I mean, and then his kids. So,
I know.
Would you not want to hear Ghostface Killah and then your 6-year-old? And so I just really think.
What's more perfect?
I just really think this is going to be a work of art. And for that, We thank you, Lin-Manuel.
I love it.
For Hamilton, for Moana, for a couple of those songs in the Mary Poppins remake that was not that good, but like kind of okay. It was kind of spooky, Lin. Like, you should have spoken up. It should have been a little bit more.
You should have told them this is a little spooky.
You should have spoken up, but that's okay. But we
forgive you.
We thank you, Lin.
We thank you. And I just love this for every parent that works from home.
Yeah.
Like, you have had a moment where your kid busts into a Zoom meeting, or like us, my children have popped into this podcast when they weren't supposed to. Like, everyone has had a moment where you're like, come on, dude, I'm in the middle of working.
But they're so cute.
And then you won't leave, and you're adorable. And I love that he was like, let's embrace it. How long can you scream? Because I'm going to put it in the song.
And the kids will never forget that Daddy let me be on this album where I just did my little thing. And I hope they get a cut. You know, I hope
they better be hitting those royalties.
Cut. Yeah.
He better be doing it. I know. And he said about his son, he said, Frankie said to me, Daddy, can we hum it at school now? Because he knew he wasn't allowed to sing it until the album came out. But he was so excited to finally get to sing it to the world. And I love that. I'm like, I have never thought about that. But like artists' children who hear the song over and over and over again and then go to school and are like, I can't tell everybody about this.
Track 6,
so
y'all.
Shout out to these kids.
Track 6.
Hit it.
You can hear Lin-Manuel's kids.
To all those work from home parents out there, Lin-Manuel gets it. He gets it. And
for
shout
all
out
those...
to the present fathers working from, being at home, being a stay-at-home dad while their wives work. Like, this is a gift.
Flip the script. Stay home with your kids.
Script. Present
That's awesome.
parents.
That's awesome.
That's what it
Love
is.
to see it. And that's the word of the day.
And that's on Lin-Manuel. And continuing with present fathers who like music, Jason Kelce was at a Taylor Swift concert. Wouldn't you know it?
Of course he was.
His brother's girlfriend. And he was there with his wife, mom, daughters, a bunch of their friends.
Love.
And he has gone viral because one of his friends took a picture of him in the box sitting, and he has his eyes closed. And in the
that's hilarious.
In the tweet, they were like, "How is Jason Kelce sleeping at a Taylor Swift concert?"
Okay, but that's hilarious.
It's so good.
Did he say he wasn't sleeping?
Jason took to the pod with his brother to say, I wasn't sleeping, I was just resting my eyes.
Oh, no.
No, he didn't say that. But wouldn't that have been so perfect?
That would have been it, because that is so parent.
Period.
That's
I was
so
resting
parent.
my eyes. No,
the way that I've
so
heard
bad.
you say that, like 15 million times, that's
that was like
so
the most
parent.
common quote from my parents.
He's
in
locked
my
in, dude. He's locked in.
So good.
That's
but
hilarious.
No, he didn't say that. What he explained was they were in a box, but it wasn't like removed from the crowd. They were kind of right in the middle of the crowd.
Oh, wow.
And it seems that he was kind of getting overstimulated because he was standing up, like dancing with his daughter, Ellie. And then he kind of looked around and everybody was looking at them and kind of felt weird, as you would if you had your small child with you and everybody was like staring at you, taking videos of you, taking pictures of you.
Weird.
So he decided he was going to sit down and like kind of dance with her while she was on the ground, because then you couldn't see as much. So they were dancing and stuff. But then Ellie went over by her mom, by Kylie. And so he was still sitting there. Kind of sounded like he was maybe a little overstimulating, you know? He said, holding Ellie, I kind of feel like I'm in a fishbowl. Everybody's staring at me. So I sit down, I'm dancing with Ellie. Ellie goes over to Kylie, and then I'm just sitting there, and I'm just feeling it. And I'm like, oh, I'm tapping my thigh, and just in the moment, listening to the song. And then all of a sudden, I go on Twitter, and I see this picture, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm not even sleeping, and I can prove it. There's evidence in the photo. And so he zooms in on the picture, and his right hand is clearly like above his hand moving. And he's like, look at my hand. I was tapping my leg. I was not sleeping.
This honestly sounds like you and your sister. Your sister's not even a parent. Shout out to Juliana. She's not even a parent. And I'll be like, hey, I'm going to turn off the TV when we're having sleepovers. I'm like, I'm going to turn off the TV because you're obviously sleeping, Juliana. She's like, no, I'm literally awake watching the show. And I'm like, girl, you're literally facing the couch. You're not even facing the television. Like, you're asleep. You know, good on him, though, for being like, it is just, I'm sure it's very polarizing. When I see those Taylor Swift boxes that are like in the middle, I kind of think I know what he's talking about. They're like in the middle with all the people around them. It's not even away somewhere, like above people. That does seem pretty nuts. And like
that's really overwhelming.
Yeah, to have like everybody there taking pictures of you. And your family, you know, I could imagine you just want to close your eyes. And the concert's loud. And I heard the concert's also like 4 hours long or something stupid. Like it's so long. Yeah.
And I do think too, like to our experience of when we went to the Jonas Brothers concert, we sat.
Yeah.
The girlies sat. Everybody in there took a break sitting. Okay. Yep. And I know that like if you gave your blood, sweat, and tears to be at the Eras tour, would you sit? Probably not. This is not Jason's first show, I don't think.
That's also a good thing to point out. Yeah.
And even if it is, like, it's not going to be his last. You know, like, he's not missing it. Yeah. And so him sitting, like, he's also old, you guys, okay? He's not 20.
Shout out.
He wants to sit. He wants to sit for a song, and you're allowed to. And you're allowed to just sit, take in the music. He said, he was like, remember I was in, like, jazz in high school. So, like, you close your eyes to, like, listen to the music. It was so funny.
No, it's honestly,
it was so
it's
funny.
honestly too much. It was
such apparent. I love it. And I just feel so seen. Like, sometimes you just got to sit. Sometimes you got to close your eyes. That doesn't mean you're asleep. It doesn't mean you're not listening. And it's fine. And even if you were sleeping,
that's also okay.
Respect to know that you have enough money that it actually doesn't matter if you close your eyes during this concert.
Respect.
You can go to another one.
Respect. You know? And honestly, like, if you're feeling overwhelmed, take a second, step aside.
Take a second.
That's okay.
If you're feeling
just
overstimulated.
That's
and that
okay.
was like it sounded like a partly mental health thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like I
just
was
take
getting
a little
overwhelmed.
Break.
And so I just sat and closed my eyes for a minute. Because at least if you're closing your eyes, you can't see all the people staring at you and taking pictures of your family.
Yeah.
So it's a little more.
So that's okay.
Comforting. Because I knew, like, I saw a video on Instagram of them just walking into the concert from their car. And it is kind of wild. You think about, like, Taylor and Travis going out and they have like security all around them. This was just like, I mean, like regular family, like Jason Kelce grabbing his kids out of the car seat, Kylie grabbing the other kid, and them just walking through a parking lot of cars and someone being like, oh my gosh, this is them, and like videoing.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you're really just like walking through a parking lot.
Yeah.
And that's kind of weird for where everybody knows who you are and it's like filming you. It's just awkward.
You guys.
Awkward thing. So rest your eyes, you guys, and do not apologize for it, but also defend yourself if people say you're sleeping and you're not.
Don't apologize for it, but also lie. When people
Fight.
say, you're obviously sleeping, let's pause the movie. No. Keep it playing.
Zoom in on your hand to prove that you are not sleeping.
Jasmine's obviously on her phone.
Literally so funny.
Yeah, she's obviously on her phone. She was obviously awake. Juliana is facing the couch, but what you don't know is she has eyes in the back of her head. She's actually still watching. So
no, I always am sleeping. If you think I'm sleeping, I already was sleeping.
She probably fell asleep already, you know, and so it's fine. And honestly, dude, like,
it's fine, you guys.
I don't even know how old their kids are, but also just like they're probably tired. And also, even if you don't have kids, you guys,
you're tired.
Concerts
Life
are
is
pretty exhausting. Let's be serious. They're
you
so
have to like
fun.
get there, be there early.
They're so fun, but they're kind of like a lot. So
it's a lot. So rest, you guys.
That's the word.
Our last story brings back one of our favorite mental health figures who arguably is doing more in the mental health field than most trained professionals could ever dream to.
Yeah.
And that's Elmo, who really is bringing peace and comfort to a whole generation.
Bet you didn't think we were going to say that.
Bet you didn't think it was going to be Elmo. If you've listened to us before, you might have thought it was going to be Elmo. Bet you did. Truthfully. Bet you did, because we are Elmo stans, as you would. We
are.
Andrew Garfield, the guy who played Spider-Man before. Well, no, it was him and then another one and then Tom Holland, right?
Yeah, it was Tobey Maguire, Andrew.
Oh, there we go.
And
Andrew.
then.
Yep, okay.
Which, pause. Tom Holland was on Jimmy Fallon. Fallon announcing the 4th Spider-Man, you guys. It is really happening. We don't have to guess. We don't have to go in Marvel Reddit groups and get conspiracy theories. It is really happening.
It's happening from the mouth of Tom Holland.
Anyway,
so speaking of a former Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield was on Sesame Street and speaking with Elmo, as one does, and affirming ways about grieving his mother's death. And so he had this quote that I thought was so beautiful. It said, "Sadness can be a gift, a lovely thing to feel in a way, because it means you really loved somebody and you miss them." Which I love that. And he went on to kind of share about his experience of his mom dying. And something that really stuck out to me, and I was kind of reading more about this afterwards, is Elmo's response. Because I think just as powerful as hearing somebody talk about grief is observing the way that people respond and how it's appropriate to respond to grief. And so Elmo was checking in with Garfield, seeing if he's okay. He asked questions in a warm and open-ended way, and he was listening without trying to insert like, well, everything happens for a reason. This too shall pass. She'd want you to keep moving on. You're going to be okay. Like just attentive listening and support without trying to fix it, which I love because Elmo's like being a counselor, you know, but something that we can do for our friends as well. And so beautiful for all the people who got to listen to this and who brought comfort too. So I want to hear from you about your reactions to
my reaction watching
Elmo's
this
everything to you.
My reaction watching this was immediately to send it to you because I thought it was just the sweetest thing. I thought when Elmo said, but when but it makes me feel sad to miss someone. And Andrew was like, yeah. And that's when he said the quote that you mentioned earlier.
Yep.
And he said like, it's okay to be sad, that's also okay. And I just really felt like I was watching, like, I just am so happy for young people that they have, and older people that we even have, like, this kind of content to be like, it's okay to feel sad. It's okay that you don't want to feel sad. It's okay that you have complicated feelings. And it's okay that you have big feelings. It's okay that some days you might feel great. Some days you might be like, oh gosh, I'm like really bummed out and I miss this person today. I miss this friendship. I miss this job. I miss this place I used to live, whatever it is. And and it was just so powerful. I just like love what Sesame Street's doing. I love that Elmo has become this figurehead of sending out tweets asking people how they're doing and people jumping in the tweets and saying like, Elmo, we're not okay, to Andrew Garfield being like, I'm actually not well because today I kind of miss my mom. And Elmo guiding us through how to actively listen to someone without providing any solutions. Yeah. And I thought that was really cool. And I liked what you said, like at the end, Elmo was like, hey, we can do something special for your mom today. And Andrew was like, that would be really great. And like,
be great.
It wasn't like, Andrew, you should feel better, or she would want you to stop being sad. It's like, no, it's actually okay.
Yes.
And that's pretty crazy.
So beautiful. I love it. And I love that it's happening in the context of on Sesame Street, not just on like Elmo's Twitter, like this is happening on a show, actually on the show. Because, and a lot of people were kind of like, why is he talking about his mom dying on a children's show? But that actually, like, children need to hear about these topics. Because, like, some children will have either already lost a parent or will eventually have to grieve that loss. And so often we, like, tiptoe around death and the idea of dying around children in general, even with a grandparent. And it's so necessary for them to understand, like, how life works. And especially in the context of the Catholic Church, there's so much like hope and beauty in that conversation, that it doesn't have to just be the end. And we don't have to talk about death as like, this is it. And then it's over, but we can actually like use it as a moment to speak about the reality of heaven and the reality of God's mercy, and praying for that person and praying for their soul, and kind of, leading into all these things they hear in Mass and all these like words about heaven, about death. And so to actually be able to bring that into reality for them, and for them to start being like rooted in the hope of all of that, but also like that there's still grief and sadness all at the same time. And I know that was a hard thing for me, like as my children's like great grandparents have died, and just even to like use that verbiage of like, no, they died, they went to heaven, and not just like they passed away, which doesn't mean like, anything
they
to
don't
a kid.
They're
like,
not around
it's a very
anymore.
Vague phrase.
Yeah.
But to actually like give the correct verbiage to them, and like that they're doing this openly on Sesame Street is going to be such a gift to children who don't have that anywhere, have somebody talking to them about like the truth of how it all works.
Yeah. And you guys, this is perfect, because coming up next week is not only Halloween, which we're going to ask for your opinions on who you think should like be our little spooky saint. They don't have to be spooky, but be our patron saint of our podcast. And we're also just going to quick share like maybe what we're going to wear for Halloween if we're celebrating the season, if we have an outfit, because we get spooky around here. And then after Halloween, you guys, if you're listening, after Halloween is a special day called All Souls Day, where we can pray for the people in our life who have passed away and are no longer with us. And even people we don't know. We can pray for those souls, pray that they're received into God's arms and that they're happy in heaven. And we ask them to pray for us. We pray for them. It's a beautiful day. So it's a beautiful day to remember people in your life that might be grieving, maybe a recent loss, maybe a loss from a long time ago, and just kind of offer up that person to God and say, hey, pray for their soul, pray that they're all good, and ask for God's help to help you move through grief if you're still experiencing it. So good things happening. The church really knows how to do it. All Souls Day coming up.
The grief.
Right after eating all that candy.
We love it.
You can pray for some people you've lost. Speaking of that,
yes,
all that candy, I would love for you to move us into our final ask of our folks listening to this podcast.
Okay, guys.
Before we leave.
We have 2 hard-hitting things we need to chat about before this is all over. And the first one is going to be a question to Chanel.
Okay.
When you were a child, get in the head of young Chanel, but also then circle back to your adult self. But for a second, take a deep breath. Get in touch with your inner child. You're young Chanel. You're dressed in your favorite Halloween costume you ever dressed in as a child. I want to know 2 things. 1, what is that costume? 2, what candy are you just like desperate to see dropped into your trick-or-treat bucket?
Black Cinderella, Milk Duds. I do have a picture.
Ooh, that's
I was
good.
Black Cinderella and a ninja one year. That costume was a close second. And those Milk Duds, y'all, I used to turn up. Now, if I eat one, I think it will just latch onto my tooth and bring the whole thing out. But I used to turn up for that and turn up for people that just give me a full bag of candy corn. That was it. That was just it, because
true.
I don't know who out there is lying to themselves saying that candy corn's not good still. Just join us. It's good. It's waxy and sweet. It's okay to just say you like it. It's okay to say you like it. Like, it's all right to just admit it. So that's mine. How about yours?
Mine would be Princess Jasmine.
Yeah,
naturally.
fair.
And Reese's, which I feel like basic, but come on. Specifically, when they started making those like Reese's pumpkins. And we'd pop off
I
with
was
those.
just talking with someone.
Are they
so good. I was just talking with someone the other day about how all Reese's in shapes are good. Maybe it's a sign.
So much better.
Maybe it's a sign of a recession or something. Did I say that last 2 weeks ago? What was this?
I don't even know.
A sign of the
But
end
it
times?
is eggs,
Anytime.
Christmas trees, pumpkins.
Maybe it's
So
whenever
good.
they want you to spend a lot of money. Like, they always
know.
make it in a shape, so then you
But
buy
it's so
more.
much better. It's not
But
crunchy.
it's so much
You know what I
better.
mean? Like, it's not as... It's just got like a smooth
It has
bite.
a way heavy peanut butter ratio. Like, it's
It's so true.
It's
the appropriate
It's the
amount.
appropriate amount of peanut butter.
That's
so
what they should do all the time.
yeah.
I love that.
This year I am Shrek. I got to text you a picture of my outfit. I bought some green face paint and I found this like shirt that's Shrek's vest and then a little Shrek knitted cap. So I'm going to be Shrek this year.
I can't wait.
So I cannot wait. It's going to rock.
Okay, our last hard-hitting question. This one is for the fans. We want to know, so not this week's episode. Next week's episode is going to come out on All Souls Day?
All Souls Day is Saturday. So we're doing...
It's the 1st.
Yeah, All Souls Day is Saturday. All Saints Day. Yep.
Right? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All Saints Day.
We're doing great. So it's coming out on All Saints Day. And we want to know from you what... No. Yes. I need to Google to make sure what I'm saying makes sense.
You're good.
We want to know from you who do you think should be the patron saint of antidepressing? Because somehow we have made it through a year and a half of this pod and have not picked a patron saint. So but Chanel and I both have patron saints, and we are going to share about those next week. And we are pumped. It is going to be the episode of Saints. It is going to be the Saints of Saints. It's going to be so fun.
Ooh.
And we really need help. So if you're listening to this on Spotify, drop in the comment box who you think our patron saint should be. We're going to put a little box on our Instagram. Message us on Instagram. Text us, call me, beat me. Tell me who you think should be our patron saint.
And we're going to make this thing a reel.
We're open.
So we're going to put it on the grid.
There it is.
So this can live.
We're open to it, people.
Put it in the comments.
Any suggestion, no wrong answer.
No wrong answer.
But please tell us why.
Please tell us why. I mean, are you
thinking... It's like a high school test. Who and why?
And like, there are some patron saints of mental health. Is that where you're going?
There are good ones.
Is there a patron saint of pop culture? I don't know. Is there one? Actually, Google it. Drop in the chat. Is there one? Because I don't know. Saint Timothy Kardashiano. I don't know. Tell us who you think our patron saint should be.
Please,
we can't wait to hear it. Drop in the chat, y'all.
All right, love y'all.
This is we love y'all.
The world is depressing,
but we're really not, because we talk about everything from liturgy to lecture pro. Bye.
Bye.